Roll 'em in a circle of homies and watch me break 'em with a 7, 7-11, 7-11, 7 even back though, little Joe. I picked up the cash flow. Then we played.
I'll be doing it in like 2 sections. I'll be discussing it first with Lancelot, and I'll be discussing it with Percival, because, you know, those are the 2 characters I'm still playing.
A good day. A good day.
Cool. So I'm gonna just take this. I'm gonna just take that off. As much as I like the song, trust me. So, yeah, I'm gonna be breaking this down as like 2 characters. It's a bit weird in a sense because there are options that I have with Lancelot that I don't have with Percival, and vice versa. So that's why I'm gonna go over both characters. So this way, if you can like relate to one character, you can like probably integrate it however you see fit.
Uno.
And if anyone like knows me on like, let's get where's yeah, Macho Ultimatum. So like, if anyone like knows me as a player, I'm usually like one of those people that like to grind shit, figure stuff out, because I don't like not knowing answers. So
Versus Uno.
I guess we can break this down in like 2 ways. We can break this down from his normals, then to his special moves. So the first thing that you should know about Uno before anything. Oh fuck. Okay. Is that he is a 6-frame character. He does not have a. This is 236L have a hurt box. We'll get to that. We're doing the normals first. The normals first, then special moves later. But yeah, it just makes it easier. It just makes it easier for me to like process everything a little bit easier that way. Okay, Misfortunate. Mix up, I got you. I gotta find it. Honestly, I have too much shit saved onto the computer. If anything, I'll make you a fresh one, like as I'm going from my slot to Percival. It doesn't really bother me, but it'll probably drive Josh fucking crazy. So to avoid hearing the ramblings of my video editor. Cool. All right. So, like I was saying, the first thing you should know about Uno, he's a 6-frame character. He has no 5-frame normal. That being said, in terms of his wake-up options, all you're really worried about is EX armor, which is frame 1. But again, 6-frame 1. All right. His 5M, if memory. Oh yeah, and just to like quell any fears, his 2L is also 6 frames. So it's not like Belial where he has like a 5-frame 2L. That's still only exclusive to Belial. So his 5L and 2L are both 6 frames. Cool? Cool. Moving on. Here's the rest of the notes. 1 second. Alright, there we go. His 6, you guys probably don't need to know this, and you probably don't care, but I can't stand not knowing anything. His 5M is 7 frames. So 6-frame 5L and 2L, and 7-frame 5M. His 5H is, I believe, 10 frames, I think. But we don't really care about that. In terms of whiff punishing, his no. Thank you, Slyer Dog 54 for the follow. In terms of like whiff punishing, it kind of gets difficult in a sense. Like you can whiff punish that, but it's kind of hard, and you don't want to like do it too preemptively, so keep that in mind. 2M, That's actually really whiff punishable. But it's not like Zoe's 2M where you can whiff punish it with 5H if you're playing Lance. Oh, got outside. You have to use 2M. So, again, you can whiff punish it. You just gotta be prepared for it. Or, alternatively, you actually can you can sweep his 2M. I'm going to have you stop waking up with this goddamn armor move. Like, you actually can whiff punish it. You just gotta be. Why are you still waking up with it? Oh, that was a good one thing. So yeah, you can whiff punish this 2M. If you don't have a sweep like Lancelot, Matera, or Uno, you may be able to use like another normal that just. Why is the midget floating? I don't know. He's an Eternal. I stopped questioning it. Moving on. If you want to ask why is his mustache floating, I don't know the answer to that either. Oh, he's powerful in the lore? There's your answer. Cool. His 5U. You could follow it up with, well, if you could follow it up with 2-2L, or you could follow it up with, like, it depends on the range. You can either go for like Nuke Jump H, or you can do like the 2-2L that we're used to doing. So just treat it like a safe jump to you. Where else? Where was I? His 2 use a slide. Thank you. I don't know if that's pronounced Ik Blue or IK Blue. So, yeah. It's a slide. Don't let MBK cap. He doesn't play 4 characters. He plays Jita still. He's a Jita main. I don't know why MBK he plays 4 characters, but if you put him put his back against the wall, he's gonna play Jita. He plays Belial exclusively for Fairy. He plays Kag exclusively against me like a fucking dick, and I've yet to see him play Uno. So he's a Jita player. This game is fun. I like it. It's simple but fun. I'm sorry, I have to expose him because he's stay capping now. He's like, oh, I co-main 3 characters. I'm like, no the fuck you don't. You only play 1. You counter pick with 2 others. Literally the only people who can claim to co-main is myself and Diapon. Yeah, pretty much just us 2. Yeah, pretty much just us 2. So yeah, that covers his 5L, 5M. Oh yeah, so you can count that as like a 5-frame normal, I guess, if you want to, but like you can meaty him. So it's not like something you would want to wake up with. Like, oh wait, set in the block. Like, wait, what the hell? Why is it not coming out? Yes. See, so it's not like something you can challenge it with. So it's 5 frames, but it's not really something you would use in the same. It's not like synonymous with a 5-frame normal, if that makes sense. You see, everyone says they don't mind Percy as Jita until they fight my Percival or Kane's Percival, and now they suddenly mind Percival as Jita. So that his air normals aren't that good. I honestly don't think his air normals are actually that good, anyways. Like, I don't know what to say about his air normals. Like, I feel like the threat with his airborne threat is not in his normals. His airborne threat is with his parry, right? And this is one of those situations that require more application in theory. but like, so let's see if I did that right. Oh, that's why. Like what? Why is what? And then even more so, like even if we'll get to the dive kicks later. Like if you have a character that just has like a mobile option, now you're out of dodge and you just reset neutral. Now there is like this isn't necessarily a good thing because this shit exists. But it's just like you don't have to deal with the ambiguity of his jump ins, so I'm just like, okay, whatever. Now you guys were mentioning dive kicks, and since we pretty much finished talking about all his air all his air shit, we could talk about his special moves, and I guess we could start with his dive kick, right? So you have that. Now this was just actually funny to me. I'm not sure if this may work as I expected to. Is it a good thing that I picked up this game really quickly and I got the game a week ago and I'm already at S1? I want to say it's like that's like a 6.5 out of 10. It depends on what character you're playing, but that is a good sign of growth. So well, damn, you a jerk. Okay, copy. So like the thing about his dive kick, yeah, you're a jerk. The thing about his dive kick is like, I'm waiting for someone to say, but you can't nerf UL Far 5M because if you nerf that, she has nothing outside of the fact that she's the only fucking character in the game with 2 goddamn invincible reversals. Essentially, like, it's the same thing. It's really risky if you have, like, SSBA. More so if you're a Lance player. Because you can just turbulence it. At the right height, you could just literally just whiff 2L, react, and like, oh, okay, cool. But I'm like, yeah, he only plays Bellio for Fairy, but that's besides the point. So like, the dive kick is kind of weird, but you can just whiff 2L and just see what happens there. But I'm actually curious, like, what class priority it has. Or you can just air to air it like everyone else. Like, treat it like any other dive kick, just air to air it. If you really want to be ballsy about it, you can whip 2L and then react. Well, I whipped 2L, now I see how you're falling, and then punish you accordingly. But this is like really spacing specific, so you really want to be careful. Like I'm not really thinking about which dive kick he's whipping. I'm just whipping 2L, seeing what he's doing, and I'm like, oh, okay, now I know how to react. So that's one approach. This also works with Percival, surprisingly enough. I could whiff 2L and then react to his dive kick the same way. So yeah, that's pretty much my thought process on dive kick. You just treat it like any other dive kick or any other bullshit jump you in the game, like Belios, ULs, Percivals, Vasaragos, etc., etc., etc. Even though it's getting really like tried and played out that we're giving every character like some move that just like interferes with their normal jump trajectory. It's getting really weird. So I guess this is like the move that everyone's like worried about. This will actually like take some. I have to think. I have to actually think. What was Zoe's jump you? If you play Lance, that's your answer. That is your answer right there. Oh, he charged it up to you. Don't care. If you're farther out, you can just roll it. You probably just want to roll it just to close the distance. You don't really want you don't really want him that far away from you to begin with. And dealing with this is obnoxious as fuck. If you play Lance, that's also a valid option. Like, it's actually surprising how frequently you can use Turbulence in this match. You just have to be prepared for it. I mean, it depends, because his heavy is like really fucking fast. But anything else is like, oh, I'm just gonna get past this. Alright. But yeah, you pretty much just want to like even if you roll preemptively, you're still fine. You just take the chip. So there's that. Oh yeah, I just want to like reaffirm something that I probably didn't say prior. You see this shit, right? I'm actually trying to think of a character that probably couldn't do this. So you might have to like backdash or something. She might be able to punish it with SSBA. You're definitely punishing with SSBA. You can punish it with SSBA. You can punish it with SSBA. You might be tricky. She's probably dive kicking into that. Bruh. Light DP is very finicky because it's not arrow blockable. So, but if you see them coming down, yeah, you could just easy input DP. You're launching your knee into his chest. Pain because of guard point. You probably just can't do dive kick at all versus Bubs. Oh, versus his 236L. Oh, that's really tricky. I wouldn't risk that. I'd have to be like in his face. You have a DP, so yeah, your SSBA is probably gonna hit that tackle. Probably requires some fine timing. Probably requires like delayed SSBA. You just suck them in, so I don't even know why you'd bother. And you're firing a laser, so you're probably gonna DP. You're probably gonna win that exchange. Fuck! I went to fucking Henry. Uno. God damn it. So it's like, if you see them do that and you have SSBA loaded, you might as well just SSBA. Like, I don't see a reason not to SSBA at that point. Like, you would be missing out on free damage. Even if it's easy input SSBA, still free damage. But we're going to talk about like DP characters in a second, because DP characters are really important in regards to what I'm about to discuss next, which is his 214. So like, in regards to his 214, his 214 is like something you actually have to pay attention to. Like, this is probably one of the moves that you can't seep against the wheel on. I mean, fall seep at the wheel on. So you have light. You have medium. Keep attention, and pay attention to medium too. And you also have heavy. I don't think there's ever a reason to use heavy in neutral, but just for like disclaimer purposes and for the fact that I'm like a purist that needs to know everything. All right. So, the thing about this is, right, is if you're crouch walking, this is not a true string. So you can roll out. Nope, mistimed it. I'm mistiming my dodge. Why am I mistiming my dodge? There you go. You can do this with his M214, his 214 M as well. I'm just fucking up the timing really badly. That's -3. -3 on block. But, you know, because he has like a frame 1 parry move, you gotta play your RPS game around that shit, so be careful. But otherwise, it's -3. So try to like just grab if you really just want to have them weary, because you know. Actually, I'm curious. This is something. Okay, it puts me out of grab range. So you can still try to like force a grab there, but that's completely up to you. But it is -3. Yes, there's a gap. If you're crouch blocking, there's a gap on the light. If you're crouch blocking, there's a gap in the medium and heavy. Like I can do this on medium too. Flip on it. But what does this mean? If you have a character with a DP, because you know I mentioned that there's at some point we're gonna have to be talking about DP characters because they have a completely different ball game. So you gotta be careful. But there is a gap. But you have to be crouch blocking. If you're stand blocking, it is a true strength. Let me turn on inputs for you guys to see. So yeah, if you're crouch blocking, it's no longer a true string, and you can like cook them, literally. So keep that in mind. So light is gapless, but -3. I'm mashing this shit. I'm not trying to time this. I'm mashing. Even if you don't have a DP, you can just dodge or roll. I mean, preferably I'd want to roll and just get the fuck out of dodge. I will say though, if you do manage to dodge this, you are not plus. He's actually plus. He's +1, I believe, which is terrifying because again, he has a 6 frame normal. It's either +1 or +2. I'm like 80%. I'm leaning more so towards +2 than +1. Up it. Oh wait, god damn it. Yeah, okay, there we go. Yeah, so I'm like 80% sure he's +2 there, and that's the only reason he's able to beat out your my 5 frame jab. So yeah, keep that in mind. What other moves do I need to talk about? Oh, his 623. 623. Yes. I'm assuming you're talking about if I'm playing Lil Wayne. Searchlight, what is Lil Wayne's parry? What's the input for Lil Wayne's parry? Really quickly. Is it 623? I'm gonna have to play like Lil Wayne like 5 seconds longer because Searchlight's not gonna answer my question. Whoa. What? Oh, there we go. EX parry. So, EX parry is the answer, not light. Alright, so 623 has like some shit you need to know about it. Because you know it has like 4 options. If you're Lance, all of these options make you happy. If you're not Lance, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. I'm sorry. Okay, so we're gonna go through each option. So we're gonna take all these off, and I'll explain why it makes Lance happy specifically in a second. Also, by the way, these do not like None of the frame data on the follow-ups change if you're using light, medium, or heavy. It's still the same. Just throwing that out there. So that's the first. Well, let's set this to lock. And then we hit guard. Alright. I will say the A option is the only option I'm not familiar with the frame advantage on block. Alright. And I'm pretty sure the B option looks very familiar to MBK. And he knows exactly why I'm saying that too. Hold it for a little bit. Alright, cool. So he has four. Well, he has four options. We'll and I'll just set. Actually, okay. We'll do that as the fifth option. We'll talk about that fifth option later. So, his first option, option A. Well, first thing you need to know, you can actually duck the B, like the BDP. So, chances are they're always going to be using A. Because, you know, you're going to be stand blocking. Or crouch blocking. So, keep in mind, 623B can be crouch blocked and can be punished for that. The A option, you don't really want to be pressing. Fuck. Let me just. You really don't want to be challenging this. Pushes him far enough, I don't think you can even punish that even if you want to. That's 6 frame, by the way. Yeah, so he's safe. So you can take your turn back, but again, remember he has 2-8, which you can just throw out and kill you for. Right? So his B option, when you see his B option, you have to think of it like mocked. If you don't know what mocked is, it's Percival's mid option. His 214XM, the little overhead, the overhead that's not an overhead strike. But the difference between Percival's mocked and Uno's mocked is the fact that Uno's is -6. So you block that. Free punish. I don't know if it's an overhead. It's not an overhead. So yeah, -6. Technically, what you should be doing is after all of this anyways, you should probably just go into crouch blocking. The reason being is because of his C option. This shit is a low. I don't know why it's a low. This shit does not look like a low, but this shit is a low. But it's also -10. If you play a character like, let's say, Percival, whose stand fierce is 10 frames, that is very easy, accessible damage for you. Alright, so think about it like this. His A option is a frame trap. His B option is to see if you're mashing. His C option is just his C option is a low, and then his D option is a dash. Like, make sure you're not falling asleep at the wheel. But the reason that that's also kind of bad if you don't play, well, if you play Lancelot, it's a free counter hit state. So if you can call it out correctly, you get access to easy damage. So keep that in mind. Now, the last special move that we have to talk about really doesn't need much, like, discussing in a sense. But we're still going to discuss it in, like, in entirety. That shit. which is 2-8. So, two things you should know about his parry. Well, a couple things, but it's really going to boil down to two in a second. So his light 2-8 is -5 on block. That's assuming you block the follow-up. Yeah, so this is the thing that you're gonna need to know. Like, if you see them do this shit, and it doesn't matter which one they do specifically, if you bait this shit out, that is a free counter hit. You just have to be very good timing. Like, just have very good timing and you'll get a free counter hit every time. So, the parry is kind of like, I don't even want to call it high reward, but it's definitely high risk. Like, even if you don't know they're gonna go for the counter hit, this shit is like, I don't even want to call it a DP, because a DP, you don't get counter hit for getting DPs unless you're playing Gran or Jito. Like, this is terrifying. Like, okay, or I can just do this. Like, you really get to hurt them for this. So keep in mind, like, when you see them do this, as long as you didn't press a button immediately, you just earned yourself a free counter hit that they have to hold. And make matters worse, that was their only defensive option, because as we established prior, they have no 5-frame jab. I mean, they have no 5-frame 2L or 5L. Their parry is 5 frames, but it's not frame 1, and you get to punish them anyways if you do the immediate correctly. So it's just like, oh, the defensive option is kind of really shitty. Like, it's like a turbulence, but the risk reward is completely backwards. And even on top of that, like, they still have to, like, I don't know if I gotta see how, like, this parry work more. But yeah, 5-frame parry, no 6-frame normal, no 5-frame normals. His 2M is kind of risky, because if they, like, there's actual hurt box on this shit, so you can punish it. His dive kick, if you have any other cat, like, I'm pretty sure if you're playing like 3/4 of the class, I mean 3/4 of the cast, you can easily just dive, SSBA his dive kick, or just do what I do. And you kill them. Or if you don't feel like doing that, you just kill them anyways. The choice is yours. Is there anything else I probably need to mention about this character? We already talked about the shitty jump-ins. Like, but keep in mind, guys, this is just strictly theory. Like, I'm just showing you what your possible counter options are. I have yet to, like, fight this character in a long set, so I'm just telling you what I found in the lab playing against the character. So, looking at the official frame data, the L follow-up of his DP is -5, the M follow-up of his overhead is -6, like I've said. His H and U follow-up are both -12. And for his 2-8, his L and M are active on frame 3, but his H is active on frame 1. Oh, that's his saving. Wow, that's hilarious. So, can I beat both of these options simultaneously? Yeah, but 2-4 loses to SSBA. But it seems like something you could just react to. Yeah, so that might be a little bit risky on them. But it can help, like, establish, like, an air game. Because literally, there's not much I could say about Percival outside the fact that, like, the things that he is -5 on, I can't punish accordingly. Like, I can't punish easily. So, like, things like 623A. No. Let me just look at my notes. Okay, so he has a couple of -5 things that I can't punish. So you can't punish that. Oh, -6? Oh, look at that. Wait, what? I mean, the real answer, again, is just like, oh, you parried. I have to now, like, eviscerate your life bar. Can't punish that either. I wish I could though. Yeah. But I get to blow up this easier. The moment I see him do this, he's landing into this. I just have to time it better. I'm like 80% sure I'm playing Lance in this matchup. Like, I don't see a reason not to play Lance in this matchup. He has no DP. His wake up options kind of suck. He has a 6 frame, which is very important when I'm playing Lance, because I'm like 95% sure, like, if I'm playing, you could only DP 2 and 4 and more H. And remember, you have to be crouch blocking. You have to be crouch blocking. I don't know how much times I want to say this. You cannot do it stand blocking. You have to be crouch blocking. But yeah, I typically play Lance against characters that only have 6 frame normals, with the exception of like Ladiva. But otherwise, yeah, if you have a 6 frame normal, I'm probably playing Lance. This is kind of concerning because this is 6 frames. But you can like neutral jump this if you feel it's coming, because it's such a wide swing. But yeah, that's literally all I can think of when I, like, in terms of theory versus this character.